Hi, this is LS540, and this is the fall of 2013. So let me welcome you all to this class, which I think it's a very important class because what we're going to try here is to be aware of diversity. And also, we are going to explore services and collections in libraries too that tend to focus on diverse populations. Okay, before we enter content matter that we will be doing this week, I would like to go over the syllabus and over the D12 site. Okay, let's go. This is the D12 site for our class, and let's go to the content area. Okay, and let's see what we have in the content area. Of course, if you are a veteran or if you have been in my class, you know more or less how I like to work. But in any case, if this is your first time taking the class, let me go and explain things a little bit better. Here we have the content area, and the content area is divided by the first component, the syllabus. The second one is required readings. Then we have homeworks, and then we have week by week of the semester from this beginning week, August 26th, till the last week on December 6th, and then the finals week that start on December 9th. Okay, at the end of the semester. And what we have here are links to either the DVs or DV participation in the communications module and the homeworks. Now let's go over the syllabus, then we'll go over the required readings, over the homeworks, and then we'll see other components of D2L. Let's click here in syllabus, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the syllabus. I'm not going to read everything because I don't think I need to do that, but make sure you do read the syllabus in case you have any doubt. Okay, so this is fall 2013 LS540-W02. This is Multicultural Service Education Libraries, and it's a 3-credit class. Of course, our schedule is we're going to meet online. Here is my name, Simon Oristiguera Trilos, and this is my office where it is located. This is very important. My telephone number 814-393-2289, and my email saristiguiet@clarion.edu. Of course, you can find all my contact information also in the university website and in the department website. But in any case, here it is in my syllabus. Office hours. And why are office hours important? Most of you are not in Clarion. However, if you want to talk to me personally and you want to call me, you can call me at my office hours at 814-393-2289, and I'll be there if you want to talk to me. If not, you can email me, or we can make an appointment, or I may call you. If you provide me with your telephone number, I will call you in case you want to talk to me in person personally. And if you're in Clarion, you're welcome to visit me in my office hours too. Okay, but just a reminder. Just a reminder, if you have any questions in regards to the class, it is better that you post the question in the D2L so other students can benefit of your questions, your comments, and my answers too. So please make sure you post your comments and questions on the D2L, and we're going to see where you're going to do that. Okay, so I'll be in my office Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 10 to 12, and Thursday from 11 to 12. I'm of course, that doesn't mean that I'm not there at other times, but what it means that I'll be there those times. Okay, here we have the required textbook. It wasn't easy to find a textbook for the class. I think this is a good textbook. It has a lot of readings. It's very diverse in its content. But also, I think we need to have some, external readings too, because this is a very, as I said, very interesting topic, and also it's a very important topic because of the diversity that we have here in the U.S. and in other countries too. So we have to have the services, we have to have the programs, we have to have the collections to service every population, every patron. Why? Because it is in the ethics of the profession to provide the same level of service to every member of the community that we serve, being that a academic library or a public library or a school library. So we have to have the resources and their services to provide the same level of professionalism to every member of the community. Okay, so please make sure you read the course overview and read the objectives too. I'm not going to go into that because then the video is going to be too long, but please read them. Here I have added this for your benefit. These are the important dates in the semester, so you know when we're going to have breaks, when we're going to have holidays, when there's a given holiday, etc., etc., etc. So please make sure you review that. Then it is very important, the course guideline. And here what it says is that first, unless I said something differently, you have to submit your homework and your assignments to the Dropbox area. Unless I say something differently or it is written differently. Then for every work you have to use APA format styling and citation. Any work that you're going to cite, that you're going to use for this class, make sure you cite it using APA style. Other professors may use different styles. I use APA. So make sure that every resource is cited. Okay, I have to make emphasis on that. Cite, and don't ask me, just cite it. Which means that you can copy or you can paraphrase information from other sources, but you have to cite it. That's it. No more, no less. Another important thing that you all know, and this is how I like to work, I don't accept late assignments. Why? Because everything is laid out from day number 1. So you know exactly what you have to do and when you have to do it. So don't wait till the last minute when things go wrong to make your submission. You may lose your computer, the internet may go down, electricity may go out. So you have plenty of time to do the things you have to do to achieve the objective and the learning outcomes of the class. So please do not wait till the last minute. Don't email me, at 11:58 p.m. to tell me that you're sorry because you couldn't submit your work because something happened that it didn't let you. Because you have plenty of time. You can start working on the class right now, today. Beware though that everything is time. Everything is open, but it will be locked after the due date. So you have to do it on time. I do not accept late assignments, and I do not accept things mailed to me. Use D2L. This is for your insurance and for mine. That way you have submitted something, and I know it's there. Okay, so there's no discussion about. So please make sure you do everything on time. Don't wait till the last minute, because I will not accept anything late. Okay, and we're going to see what is due and when is due. Okay, these are the activities that we're going to have in our class. We're going to have 7 DV or discussion board or participation that are graded, and that's for a total of 5 points each. That's the maximum points you can achieve. I may deduct some points if I don't think you did an excellent job. If you get 5 points, it's because you did an excellent job. But you may get 4, 3, 2, or 1. That will give you a total of 35 points if you achieve the maximum. Then we have 5 homeworks: H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5. H1, H2, and H3, H1 and H2, what I call issues scan and community scan, is an awareness homework for you. And I'm going to go into detail later when we explain the homeworks. But that's an awareness about the diversity and multicultural world that we live in. Okay? And I'm going to go into more detail about that. So we have the DBs. We have 7 times 5, that's 35. Each homework is 10 points except for services scan, which I think it's more important. Not more important, but it may require a little bit more of work. So I'm giving 15 points of credit if you do an excellent job. Finally, there's a literature review, and that's only at one time, is 10 points, and your final exam, which is 10 points. Usually my final exams will be either an essay question or a multiple choice type of exam. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll see that. So it's very simple, and then you can achieve, if you do an excellent job, you may achieve 100 points. We have the grading scale, very simple. I like to keep my grading simple because I don't want to worry about grading. What I wanted to worry about is about learning. Learning and learning and learning. I don't care about grading. But I have to grade. And I have to show the diversity of grading according to what you do and how much effort you put into the class. So that's also part of the learning outcome. And we are not all the same. So some people do more work than others, and that's fine. You don't have to get A's all the times or B's or whatever. There's diversity in grading too. Imagine that. Okay, here is our course outline that may be changed or not. We have to be open to do some changes, but this is how I see this course. First, okay, this week the introduction, then we'll work on definition, background, and issues. And some topics that we're going to explore, and I will lecture on some, and you will research on some, are the profession, diversity and multicultural in our profession, in collection management, in services to patrons, library education is very important, access to libraries and access to information, two different things, and we will see why. Language barriers, education, that's also an aspect of diversity. Technical issues such as cataloging and indexing. This is very interesting, and there is one required reading that I think you're going to enjoy in terms of cataloging and indexing, and the Library of Congress subject headings. Immigrants, citizenship, and I may add social economic status, gender preference, etc. So there are many issues in diversity. It's not only about, and we're going to see in the second component, there are 2 weeks, is community and patrons. It's not only about ethnic background or national background. No, diversity is expressed in many other ways, and that's why we're doing those 2 awareness homework, because I want you to open your mind to diversity. We are all a diversity, okay? So it may be ethnic, of course, racial diversity, why not? But it may be gender and gender preferences. That's part of our diversity. How you see yourself in terms of gender, okay? That's very important. And the idea is that if we have a public library and we have a gay or lesbian or transgender community that we serve, we have to have services and collections for them. And for us, we're all part of the community. If we have Latinos like me, you have to provide services and collection for me too, and etc. So there is gender, there is ethnic background, there is racial background or racial ethnicity, there is social economic status, and that's part of the diversity. Not everyone is well-to-do. Not everyone is middle class. Not everyone is poor. We have a diversity in terms of status, and that's very important. Another way to see diversity is by age groups. We have children, but children normally have a very good collection in public libraries and services. But we may have older adults. We may have young adults, etc. Teenagers. Are we serving those groups of patrons? They are also a diverse group. Then we may have a racial background and health issues. That also is another way to look at diversity. Okay? So if we have veterans from wars suffering from a syndrome or another, well, that's part of our diversity. And we have to have the services, the collections, and the programs to serve those veterans because they may have special issues, special health issues. Okay? Another way to see diversity is by religion. We have all different religions. We may be Jewish, or we may be Muslims, or Catholics, or Christians, or any religion. So we have to also provide, if in our community is religiously diverse, then we have to provide for services and programs and collections for them, for our community. So what I'm trying to do is with the first component and the second component and homework H1 and 2 that we're gonna see in a minute is to make us aware of the diversity in our community and to think, not limit ourselves to racial or ethnic background or national origin or Latinos or Chinese or Asians. No. Let's see diversity in a broader sense. Okay? So that will be the second component. And first, I think not less or more important, but a big component, and that's why we're going to spend few more weeks, it's services and collection and programming at public and academic libraries. Okay? So that's how I see this class. And then we have, of course, the final week. Then if you read the syllabus, you have university policies. So please make sure you review the syllabus well to understand what we're going to do. Now let me go back to the content area here. Let me go click here and let me go to the content area. So we already explored the syllabus. Now we're going to go down and see what required readings we have. I have selected, I think, I don't know, probably between 10 and 20 articles that I think are very, very interesting. And you can see the titles here. For example, and this is one that I found fascinating, is Ethnic Groups and Library of Congress subject headings. So diversity has to do also with indexing, cataloging, and technical services. Then we have Courtney's article, which is Barbarians at the Gates. And this is very interesting because this is something that happens to all of us. When we are affiliated to an institution such as Clarion, then we have access to the collections and services. But once we leave the university, then we don't have any more access. So that's a very interesting article. Then we have one by Lefko and Daly, and has to do with multilingual collections in Canadian public libraries, and it has to do with English and French. Gilton, The Future of Multicultural Youth Literature. That's also a very good article. Okay. One thing that has to do with the issues on library education is diversity and LIS education, library and information science education, because we are also we need to have diversity in our profession too. Okay, not only again not only diversity in terms of ethnic background, like we have to have Latino librarians or African American librarians or Indian librarians or Native American librarians. Yeah, that's fine. We have to have that too. But what about in terms of gender or gender preference? We have to have also diversity. What about in terms of gender? What about in religion or religion preference or religion affiliation? Well, we have to have also librarians that have different religious affiliation. So there must be diversity in terms of our profession. Then we have a very interesting article on Australia, and this has to do with information behavior and information seeking behavior of immigrants. That's a very interesting one. Well, and so on. Okay. Oh, and this is also I read all these articles because I think they are. I mean, they are very relevant for this class. There's one for the homeless, and that has to do with and two. One is the Mars article, Library Service to the Homeless, and then the Shen article, The Dilemma of Urban Library Service for the Homeless. And that's why I was saying the issues in the background, and the issues that sometimes is even access to the library itself. Access to the physical library, and then there are problems. So there are issues and problems accessing the building, the library building. And please read those articles and you will find why, especially with profiling homeless and poor people. And then there is issues and problems in terms of accessing information once you are into the library. So we have two issues here. Getting inside of the building, it may be problematic if you're not affiliated to an institution. And secondly, it may be also even more problematic if you are homeless or if you are poor. Physical access. Imagine that. And then there are other issues such as accessing information because you don't have the understanding, you don't have the educational background, or there is a language barrier, or they don't let you use the computers because you're poor or because you're homeless. So there are many issues in regards to diversity and multicultural services and collections and programs. So let's be very open-minded about what diversity and multicultural means in our profession and in our day-to-day life. Again, I want to emphasize that even though it is very important racial and ethnic diversity, and we have to be aware of that, it's not only that. There are many other types of diversity. Okay, so these are the readings that I am recommending. There are many more, but these are some of the ones that I like. I read probably about 200 articles this summer about diversity and multicultural services and collections, and these are the ones that I decided to. We could have more, but I think with this and what we have in the textbook, which is a collection of articles too, we will be very. We will have a very good background, and also with doing the literature review. So I read like 200 articles, and these were my selection for this class. But there's a lot of research and being done in terms of diversity. Okay, some are older than the other ones, but some are, like the first one, ethnic groups and libraries Congress subject. I think that's a great article. You may or may not agree with it, but it's a great piece of work. Because sometimes you don't think about that and the problems in diversity in terms of terms and control vocabulary or control language. And to me, that was fascinating. So please make sure you read this. It's for your own benefit. I already read them, all of them, and like 200 more. But for your own benefit, please read them. Now let's go to homeworks. Like I said, homework 1 and 2 are awareness homeworks. Awareness. I want you to be aware of your world. Be aware of your community. Okay? You don't have to visit a library. What you have to do is scan, observe, and think about your community, your workplace, your school, your church, your neighborhood. Okay? And see what issues you can identify. And I put some examples here: ethnic background, gender identity, social economic status, language barrier, education level, immigration, etc. What issues can you identify in your community? Being that religious identity, religious affiliation, what issues can you identify in terms of your community? Here, for example, in Clarion, we have very low, let's say, a low diversity on ethnic background. Almost everyone here seems to be of one ethnic group. There are some minorities like me, and probably two or three more, but ethnically, it's a very there's not too much diversity. However, there is a big diversity in terms of um, religious affiliation and in terms of uh, um, education level. We have a large number of PhDs here in our community, and we have also a number of community members who may have a high school diploma at the most. So is the public library serving both communities? So there is a big diversity in terms of educational background or educational level. The same with social economic status. Okay, there are well-to-do people. There's a large professional class, and we professors are there, bankers, small store owners, etc. And there's also people who are who have a lower economic status. Is the public library offering services and collections to every social economic status? For example, these are questions that may be present in your community, but you haven't thought about it. So this is a homework for awareness. I just pointed out some examples of what I see in my community here at Clarion, PA. So think about that. Number 3, how the diversity you have identified affects library services, programs, and collections. And again, I don't want you to visit the library or talk to a librarian. Think about how that diversity may or may not affect your library services and collections. For example, when I think about Clarion, I think how that may affect our public library. I already pointed out some issues in terms of social economic differences, church affiliation differences, and education level differences that I can see. There may be other too. There are a few ethnic minorities, very few Latinos, very few African Americans, that doesn't mean that the library, for example, shouldn't care about us. No, it should care about us too. So how are those issues going to affect what the library can do for us in terms of services, programs, and collection? Once you have thought about that, I want you to write a two-page paper with your observations and the effects that the issues of diversity and multiculturalism you found might have on public, school, and or academic libraries. Operation-wise, services, programs, and collection. And what I want you, I don't want you to, you don't have to cite any source. I don't want you to cite anything. I want you to write your paper, and you have to copy and paste your paper at H1, and that will be one of our discussion boards. Okay, and I'll show you that later. So this is an awareness homework. The second homework, again, an awareness homework. Do not visit a library. And here, again, number one, scan, observe, and think about your community, workplace, school, church, and look at the difference and similarities using the following categories or any other that you observe. Because here it's not everything is included. No, many things I have forgotten or I didn't see here in terms of gender, ethnic background, social economic status, age, racial background, health, uh, uh, religion, etc., etc., etc. These are some of the categories, but in your community there may be more. And then include your own group. You are also part of the diversity. You may be white Anglo-Saxon, but you are still part of the diversity. Because the way I see it, and of course not all professors or scholars or authors see this issue the same way I see it. But I think we all are part of the diversity. Okay? All of us. It doesn't matter if you're Native American, if you're Latino, if you're white, if you're African American, if you come from India, if you are gay, if you are an old person, if you are a child, it doesn't matter. We are all part of the diversity. Okay? So include your own group. Okay? Please do. Then you will write a two-page paper with your observations describing the groups in your community. And then you're going to copy and paste that also at H2, and we'll see where that is. So two awareness paper that you don't require to go to the library to do any research. It's about observation. It's a first person account of what you see in the community. One about issues that you see, and another one it's about groups that you see, or or communities that you see, or populations, or groups. Then we have H3, and this you have to go and visit the library. You can go and visit a public library or a academic library. It doesn't matter. And I want you to browse and search a catalog and ask a librarian looking for collections that meet the needs and interests and abilities of all the persons in the community. Now, it is important for this homework to work that you do your library visit in the same community where you have done your two prior homeworks, H1 and H2, because I want you to write a 1 or 2 page paper describing the collections you have found that meet the needs of the community and how they match your observations of your two previous scan homeworks. Okay? So do they match the issues that you found in your community in terms of diversity and multiculturalism? Did they match the groups that you observe in your community? what? The collections. Do they have a collection that will help, will entertain uh, uh, the diversity of your community? Yes or not? Why? What do they have? Etc. Ask a librarian. Talk to a librarian, and then report back. You will do the same with the with the services. You will do the same. I'm interested to see if there is a match between your observations and the services that the library will provide or is providing. And then finally, and this is also very important, it's a literature review. It doesn't have to be an extensive 40-page literature review. I want you to cite at least 10 scholarly journal papers. Please, 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 do not use any of the ones that I have recommended or require reading. Do your own search on our databases. Go to the Clarion website, go to Academic Search Premier, for example, select our databases there, the librarianship databases, and do your own search. Okay, so what are you going to do your search on? Well, you have to select a topic of your interest within the area and focus of this class, not on computer science, no, on the focus of this class on diversity and multicultural issues, patron services, collections, and programs, and write a literature review. Cite at least 10 scholarly journal papers. You can cite more, but at least 10 scholarly journal papers. So when you do the search, make sure you limit your search to scholarly journal papers. Peer review, that means peer review. Papers that had been reviewed by peers. What is the length of your paper? It's between 5 to 10 pages. How are you going to submit this? But you have to follow the guidelines for written work outlined in the syllabus. What it is very important is that you do proper APA citation style, because I will deduct a point for each mistake that you do. And you have to submit H5 in the Dropbox no later than December 8th, 2013 at 11:59 p.m. That does not mean that you have to wait till December 8th to do this work. You can do it this week and you can submit it next week. So please, I will not accept late submission. So don't email me and say, I know you're not accepting this, but I did it anyway and here it is. No. Because I'm giving you what? September, October, November, almost 4 months to do this. So I don't see why not doing it on time. Don't wait, please, to the last minute. Let's be very professional about this. Okay, so we have talked about our homeworks. So let me go again to the content area. Okay, we explained the syllabus, required readings, we explained the homeworks. And what we have here is the class schedule, more or less by week. I will be adding either PowerPoints, video lectures like this one, some lectures that I have recorded for other classes, and I plan to meet with you at least once every 2 weeks online. We will have a meeting online which is not required, but I will encourage everyone to attend. And we will have a discussion or I will lecture, etc., etc. Because I like to have that interaction with my students. So please, it is highly encouraged that you attend those online meetings. I will provide the link, the time, and all the information at least 24 hours before the meeting, so you have enough time to plan. There's not a requirement for you to attend. The meeting will be archived, but I highly recommend and encourage you attending. And then of course I will be posting my lectures here. I will be posting my PowerPoints. Everything will be here in the content area for you to review and to study. These are links, for example, to DB1, link to H1, and so on. And the final exam, like I said, it will be an essay or a multiple choice type of exam. So let's move over here. We have the news here. Then we have, okay, we already content, assessment. Let's go to quizzes here. We have the final exam there. The final will be open between December 9 and December 12. However, you will have one opportunity and it will be time to finish the exam. You can choose any time between these two dates, December 9 and December 12. But once you start the exam, you have to finish it. Here are your grade book. This is what I'm going to grade, DB1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until DB7. Each one will be a maximum of 5 points. Then you have your homeworks. We have homework 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember, homework H4 will be 15 points. The other homeworks will be only by 10 points. Please excuse me, the telephone ringing in the back. Then we have the exam, and the final exam is only 10 points. So it's very simple, straightforward grading. There's no complications here. Okay, let's go to the Dropbox. Okay, there is only one homework that you're going to submit to the Dropbox, and that's H5, the literature review. And here is the due date. It has to be here before December or up to December 8, 2013, 11:59 p.m. Again, it does not mean that you're going to do the literature review on December 7th or on December 8th. You can do it this week. And the Dropbox is open for submission right now, but it will be closed December 8th at 11:59. If you have not submitted before that, I'm sorry, you lost your chance to get that assignment in. Okay, why I'm doing this? Because I'm telling you from the very beginning what you have to do. So you don't have to wait till the last moment. You don't have to wait till something goes wrong with your computer or with your internet, because you know this 2 or 3 or 4 months ahead of time. Okay, so please, let's try to behave like professionals, adults, like we are. So do it now. Do it. You can do it anytime. You choose your topic and you follow the instructions and you do your lead review and you follow the guidelines of formatting and citation given by the American Psychological Association, known as APA, formatting and citation guidelines. Period. You don't have to ask me anything. You just have to follow those guidelines. 6th edition, by the way. Okay. So that's a Dropbox, but let's go to the communication side, because that's where we're going to do most of our work. Here we have 2 forums, non-graded forum and graded forum. And in the non-graded forum, this non-graded participation, meaning that, meaning that, I'm sorry, again, meaning that you don't have to participate if you don't want to. It's because I'm not grading that participation. It will be up to you to participate or not. Okay? Remember that. Here, this is is to introduce yourself, ask a question, is to ask a question about the class. Free for all is to post your own comments on whichever topic you like to. But remember, this is a semi-public forum, and we have to respect ourselves and respect our diversity. Then I will be adding more topics depending on the week. Week 1 topic, week 2 topic, or or I will name them differently so we can discuss class content. Then the second forum is the graded participation. And we have the graded participation is from the DV1 to the DV7, the first forum, the second forum, sorry. And the instructions are 2 comments, original and at least 1 more post to start and or comment on a classmate post. So you can comment, you can start a conversation, etc. Must compose to participate. That means that you won't be able to see what is in there unless you compose and post a first comment. And the comment that you have to first post is answering my questions there. So one, it requires the user to compose a new message in the topic before viewing or replying to other messages on the topic or in the topic. Okay, so I'm asking you to do your first post individually, and then you can interact with your fellow classmates. Post original comments and answer, and then at least 1 more post to start on a conversation or comment on a classmate post. So your first one is an original answering the question or commenting on my question or on my observation, and then you have to do 1 more commenting or participating or asking questions to your classmates or explaining something that you have been asked, that it is required. For example, DV1 Thurston 2012 asks, why should we care that diversity in the profession has been so slow to reflect diversity in American society as a whole? What is the author referring to? What are the authors? Where do you find this? Who is Thurston 2012? Well, I guess you have to go here and you go to content and you go to required readings and see if he's there. Oh, here it is. So I guess that in order to answer that DV1, you have to read Thurston 2012 addressing the emerging majority. Okay, and then you can go ahead and answer that or comment on that. So you have to do it before you can read anybody else's post. I'll be watching because I want your first post to address originally or immediately or directly my questions there. If you don't do it that way, I will deduct points. The other thing to watch out for is that you have the date when this DV will be locked. Okay, so DV1 will be locked after September 8, 2013, 11:59. So please do not miss the due dates, because if you miss the due dates, you miss the points, and I won't go back. They are all open now, and you can start answering the questions. So you have plenty of time. For example, for the first one, you have 2 weeks till September 8th to post your comments and read Thurston 2012 and answer the questions. The same with number 2. How do you relate Kearney 2001 article with access to minorities and other diverse populations in terms of services and collection? That will be locked September 22nd, and so on. Where is Kearney? Well, I guess you gotta go here. You go to content, you go to required readings, and you go to Kearney here, and you have to read Kearney. Where do you read Kearney? Well, go and do your search in our library, and you will find that article there in the electronic version, and that's it. Okay, so you have to do that from 1 to 7. Okay, do it. Take your time, but do it. Don't wait till the last minute, please. And then we have another forum which is also graded, and this is where you're going to put homework 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, 5, which is the literature review, goes to the Dropbox, and I already showed you the due date. For 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's also due dates, but they don't go to the Dropbox. They go to here, to the graded participation homework. And the instructions are copy and paste scans. Participation, feedback, communication with classmates is highly encouraged. Here, what this requires, you copy and paste your observations. If you want to interact with your classmates, this is highly encouraged. And please do so as much as you like. But I'm not grading that communication. What I'm grading is your homework. So H1 issue scan, H2 community scan, H3 collection scan, and H4 service scan. Okay, so as you can see, I have tried to organize the class in in the components that I thought about: issues, groups, and then services, programs, and collections. If we do everything that it is required in the class, I think we're going to be able to fulfill the learning outcomes. Okay, I want awareness on diversity. I want to have a broad definition of diversity that includes you. I also like you to see what is available in your community in terms of services and collections. Okay, then then we have online meetings, and I will post the link 24 hours before the meeting time, and I will encourage everybody to participate, please. Though participation is not mandatory, and I'm not grading your participation online, but make an effort to show up, because that also encourages me. Because if I'm online by myself, it's very hard to talk to myself. I listen to me all the time, but I would like to have a conversation with you. I can lecture some, and we can have a discussion, because there are many points of view. That's another thing about diversity of ideas, diversity of opinions. Okay, so my opinion and your opinion are may differ, and I hope they are different, and they are diverse opinions, and the same with your classmates. So the only way we can discuss that is, of course, here through the forum in the written word, but also we can talk in our online classroom, because this is the point of this class. The point of this class is to understand that there is a diverse world out of us, that we are not all the same, that we don't think all the same, that we are not right all the time, that there is a diverse in terms of people, opinions, feelings, etc., etc. And we have to understand that, and we have to accept that. And there's no problem with that. And I don't have a problem if you come to my class, to my online classroom, and you have a different point of view than what I have. That's perfectly fine. Because that's part of who we are as human beings. And finally, we have the checklist here. This is for your benefit. It's not for my benefit. I don't check if you are checking the checklist. That's for you to remember that you have to do 7 DVs, that you have to do 5 homeworks, and you have to do a final exam. I think everything is clear, and I think everything falls into place. I was preparing for this class while I was teaching my international librarianship class, my comparative librarianship, because I think this is a very important class, because this is part of our professional ethics. So I hope this introduction is not too long, and I think we're going to learn a lot on this class, and if especially if we participate, if we have a positive participation, we all are going to learn. Thank you so much, and please start working on your readings, start working in reading your book, start working in your DVs, in your literature review, in your observations, in your awareness observations, issue scan and community scan. So we'll have a very rich experience in understanding and accepting diversity in our world. Thank you.